Rule 19. Do not complain or escalate a concern about someone to a senior without having proof or confronting the person directly first. So this is what we were talking about just a minute ago. Also, don't be confrontational or judgmental. This will never be the most appropriate option in a scenario, and it'll always probably rank towards the bottom. Let's look at this with an interesting question. So really read what's in this question before you answer it. You've been working on the surgical teams for 4 weeks. One of the nurses, Jill, has undermined your decisions several times and has twice called you incompetent in front of patients and staff. You've mainly ignored Jill's comments, though you did try to speak to her once about her concerns without success. More recently, an FY1 colleague told you that you should not allow her to speak to you like that. You have not had feedback from any other team members to indicate that there is any problem with your performance. Rank in order the appropriateness of the following actions. Pause and take a little look. So the recommended answer is D, E, B, C, A. So interestingly, if you look at the question, it does mention that you have tried to speak to Jill before, and she's done it repeatedly. So the most appropriate option here would be to inform your consultant about Jill's comments. So interestingly, you're informing the consultant first rather than the nurse in charge, and we'll talk about that. The second option is to ask other FY1s if they've had similar problems with Jill. So you're trying to find out if this is a bias just against you and if she has a problem against you, or other colleagues have had the same problems with her. But you're not going to put an end to this and you're not going to solve the problem without informing someone about this. So that's why D is the first option and then E comes after. But it's still better to ask than report her, which is why B is next in line, which is to inform the nurse in charge about Jill's comments. At this point, you're reporting her, or you're kind of, not trying to solve the problem within yourself. Like with your consultant, you're informing them, you're almost asking for feedback, or they'll do something about it. But with informing the nurse in charge, you're kind of throwing her under the bus. So that's why that comes next. Then comes C. Find Jill when she's on break and ask what her concerns are with you. This is the second last option here because you've already tried to talk to her before without success. So look at what they're telling you in the question. It's really important to see what information has been given. Only because we'd already talked to her before could we go and tell our consultant. It's, if we hadn't had a conversation with Jill on our own, it would not be appropriate to go and tell your consultant as the first thing. But C is still better than A, which is to continue to ignore Jill's comments. Again, where you're doing nothing, you're not doing anything to solve the problem, you're ignoring things that are going wrong or in or around you, will never, never, never be the right option. They're probably always going to be last. You can pause and read the rationale now.